Welcome to the Locked In Baseball Podcast. I'm William Locke. He is Luis Barranco. It is Sunday, April 12th. Another weekend of baseball is in the books. We're getting into the groove this season. Luis, how's it going?
We're on it, my guy. I mean, another what is it? 3 days of baseball have passed by since we've last been on air. It seems like we got that. A lot's happened. Man, oh man, how the world changes. Like, the world's dynamic as hell, man. Like, one day you're on top of the world, the next day you're at rock bottom, it feels like. And that's the perfect way I see baseball this year. One day you're on top of the world, talking mad crap on Twitter, and then the next day you're out here struggling for vibes.
And it's exactly why it's a marathon and not a sprint. 162 games, a lot can happen over the course of those games. We're going to talk about, of course, leading this podcast with the New York teams. It was a disastrous week for both the Yankees and the Mets, so we'll break it down. Then we'll go around the horn. There was a funny incident out in Seattle with the Ichiro Suzuki statue that we'll talk about. We're going to talk about some new Rockies ownership, which could be some huge news for that organization. And, we'll talk Cubs, Pirates, which I thought was a fun series. Watched a lot of that one. Fun game on Sunday there as well. So we're going to go around the league. You want to start with the New York teams? Do you want to say anything on the Masters? Because that was the biggest thing this week.
We didn't do our intro, man. I mean, first off, you love yourself some ownership views, some front office ownership views. The way I love rebuilds is the way you love ownership moves and front office. Man, oh man, like William loves this so much, man. It's crazy. It's like Dave Portnoy loves pizza. Like, that's as much as William likes the ownership views.
Because I will say, ownership makes a huge difference. If you have a good owner that cares, puts effort into the team, makes a huge difference compared to bad ownership. Think of teams like the Pirates. Think of teams like the Angels. You could even throw the Yankees into that conversation. I don't know, but I do think ownership makes a huge difference. So some positive news for the Rockies. We'll get to it a little bit later, though.
So how are you doing? You get to watch the Masters this weekend at all? Anything?
I'm a Sunday Masters guy. Busy week this week, so I wasn't able to catch Thursday through Saturday. Usually I'll watch it a little bit, but I mostly tune in on Sunday. So it seems like all the controversy was that Rory was able to practice. Basically, he skipped a few tournaments leading up to this one and was flying out from wherever he lives in, like Florida or something. I'm not sure exactly. Flying to Georgia to play Augusta, like way more than the rest of the field. And then he wins his back-to-back green jacket, the first guy to do that since Tiger in the early 2000s. That seems to be the controversy in the golf world right now. Good for Rory. I'm not the biggest Rory fan, but I also recognize he's one of the greatest golfers of our lifetime. So hats off to him. No one really pushed him.
Whoa! That's a bold claim. I don't think he's one of the greatest golfers of our lifetime. I think there's a lot of guys we can make arguments for. Obviously, there's Tiger. I know Tiger has the stench on him. He got that stench on him for, I think Tiger right now is more of a legend at this point. Like, everything that Tiger did earlier on in his career is kind of forgotten. I mean, we were very young, but I remember, feel like our fathers and our fathers' colleagues would talk about Tiger and how good Tiger was at the heyday. The jokes on Tiger back in the 2000s and the run that he went was nuts. And then when we actually got to the age where we started to understand sports and golf, the whole incident happened. And I feel like that Masters win that he had a couple of years ago, when I think it was in 2018 or 2019, might be one of the greatest Masters wins ever. Just talking about a guy who lost it all and hasn't been relevant or damn good at golf. And golf's a lot of a mental game, and he was just off of it. And he comes up and wins. With the whole Rory, I mean, there's a lot of golfers now better than Rory, I feel. Scotty Scheffler, I would say. He's damn good. We also forget about the Jordan Spieth run that he had. We forget about Mickelson. We forget Phil Mickelson. I know Phil Mickelson had that blow up at Winged Foot, but still he's one of the greatest ones of our lifetimes. Like, let's just chill out with it, with the Rory GOAT.
I'm not saying he's the GOAT. Definitely not. I'm saying in our lifetime, he's probably a top 5 golfer. He's in that elite class. Oh, God. Tiger, I would say Phil, Scotty, Rory. Like, Rory has a career Grand Slam. He just won back-to-back Masters, so he's in an elite class. I don't know who else Those are
Spieth had
four
a
that
good
come to
run.
mind. Spieth, no, he has too many chokes on Sundays and big tournaments for him to be in that
He's had a good
conversation.
run, but the same thing as Bubba Watson won two Masters too. So it's just like I know he has a
but come on.
Grand Slam, but like still,
Rory wins the tour championship. It seems like every year he's up there in career earnings. He's one of the greats, whether you like it or not. I think he's one of the
but he's
greats.
not. But he's not in the Tiger class. He's not in the Tiger class.
No one's in the Tiger class. For as for as crazy as he's been over the last few years, everything that's going on, the way his career's ended, no one's in that class except the Nicklases of the world. Those guys.
Tiger was on a generational run, my guy. I just, honestly, I feel like it's kind of something that we over talk about. I think the Masters is probably one of the tournaments that's on my bucket list to do. I've been in the drawing for the Masters. The Sunday Masters naps are elite. So, next year, hopefully I can win some tickets and we can get Josh. We can get the boys, win 4 tickets, you, Josh, and we can get Molnex to go. I mean, the golf gang out to Augusta. I feel that would be an elite thing to do, like bucket list thing.
100%. I think it's most sports fans. It's on their bucket list. One of the hardest tickets to get. Never obviously been myself.
It's just as hard as going to the New York Marathon. New York or Boston Marathon. Just it's up there. But regards, as we talk about golf a lot. I know William gave his golfers and everything. The game of golf, and we talked about Tiger, and the game of baseball have two common similarities and commonalities. And the biggest one in that is it is a mental game. And as we turn the page on April 12th and the slate of Masters is over and most of the MLB weekend slate is over, we need to talk about the New York teams, how mentally they have lost their power, they have lost their steam, they have lost their edge at this point. The Yankees look far from what they were a week and a half ago, and they look far from their counterparts when they were in dominance, and the Mets as well. We call the paper champs of the offseason and the paper champs of many off seasons and whatnot. With all the hype with Cohen, they have fallen flat. To review the week, I actually watched both of these series in their entirety almost. Let's start out in Tampa, down here in Florida. The Yankees traveled down Thursday after the depressing loss that was against the A's, where they were one hit by Jeffrey Springs. They ended up going to Tampa and playing a 3-game set in which they were swept. The Rays won 5-3 in the Friday night game, where Heel debuted, only giving them 4 innings. Saturday, the Rays won 5-4 in 10 innings, where the Yankees squandered a Max Fried start, where Max Fried went 8 strong, only giving up 3. And that third run didn't come until the 7th or 8th inning, so it was damn near 2. And then Sunday, today's game, the Rays won 5-4. Talking with the Yankees first, I'm going to get on a little bit of a rant. We can point our fingers at so many things that happened this weekend. We can play our fingers, number one, at Brian Cashman at the roster construction. Randall Grichuk isn't up to speed to be hitting in 6th in the order. 2, why is Paul Goldschmidt not getting at bats against, why is he not getting an at bat in critical situations in favorable matchups? JC Escara, for as much as we love JC Escara on this podcast and we love the story and everything, he's just not up to the Yankee standard. And then we fall into the line of the 6, 8, 9 hitters, where you have Jazz Chisholm, where we can point our fingers at Jazz Chisholm for the commentary, which I know you'll probably go in detail about what happened Saturday night and Saturday's game. And when I come down to it, this roster is flawed. And I understand there's no perfect roster, but we got to stop glossing over and reading these great pep articles that we get weekly and bi-weekly of it's a different team. This team's different and everything. It's not. It's the same team we saw last season. And yes, did they weren't supposed to put up the most runs last year in the major leagues? Yes. But what's happened this year? The 7, 8, 9 hitters, and you can include Jazz into that, aren't hitting. Jose Caballero is not an everyday player. The bench is not versatile enough. Where you look at the top teams in Major League Baseball, where the Toronto Blue Jays have so much versatility that you don't know what lineup can go out. The Dodgers have versatility. Most teams in that World Series contention have versatility. The Yankees don't have that. And when you look at the relief pitching just isn't up to par to what a World Series team would look like. There's too many unknowns in the bullpen, too many volatile guys with Camilo Doval and Jake Bird that you cannot trust in a World Series team and a team that can go 100. They can go to the end to the World Series. Case in point, there's just a lot of issues with this team that need to get talked about, and I'm sick and tired of going back and forth with Cashman. I'm sick and tired of the Boone decision making, having JC Escara pinch running. It's just like none of these decisions make sense. Like, why? Why are we doing these things? It's terrible. The fundamentals. That's another thing I want to talk about tonight, and that's my second point. The fundamentals were absolutely terrible from the Yankees. They play a team that is inferior on paper of talent, that is the Tampa Bay Rays, and guess what? The Rays literally just squeeze bunted their way to wins this weekend. That's what they did, between speed and squeeze bunting. Last night, when I saw Chandler Simpson and Cedric Mullins come up to the plate at the end of the game, I just knew there was just not a chance that the Yankees were fundamentally sound to end up getting a double play or getting speed guys out. It's just unacceptable. When you're a team like the Yankees with a payroll that is top 5 in baseball and with one of the biggest markets and a team with that expectations, you cannot be out fundamental. That is why the New York Yankees, and I will say it here, will not get to the end and win at the end. There's just too many flaws on this roster right now on April 12th until proven differently.
It's a lot. Thank you for that rant, Luis. I agree with the sentiment. I was on it on the preview with the Yankees. Nothing so far this season has led me to change my mind. This was the first season since 2017, ironically, that I thought this team had no chance of making the World Series. I kind of set myself, or not no chance, but like I really wasn't expecting the Yankees to win the World Series this year. And it could still happen. I still don't think it is going to happen. This was a frustrating weekend. The teams like the Rays, we've said it for years and years, they are the Yankees' kryptonite. And I agree. This is the exact same team, exact same Yankees team that we saw last year. And I'll pose this question. It's a hypothetical question to Yankee fans.
Pose it right now. I'll answer it right now.
Hypothetical question to Yankee fans, and I'll pose it to you too, Luis. Would you rather the Yankees in 2026 have a similar season to what they did in 2023, where they're around 500 for most of the season, miss the playoffs, and have the whole front office clean sweep this winter? Cashman gone, Boone gone. How cleans house for the first time in a generation, and we get new leadership with the Yankees front office? Or would you rather it be a similar season to 2024, 2025, really 2025, and every season from 2018 to 2024 when they made the World Series, where you knew they were good, they make the playoffs, but they come up short, and then it's the same thing next year. So next year we have Cashman and all of those guys. Boone comes back, et cetera, et cetera. Which one would you rather have?
I mean, it's obvious. I think it's time. I've been saying this on the pod, and I get duped every single year where I come back. I'd rather have some type of change. It's just getting frustrating. Like I said, when Cedric Mullins got on base last night in the 10th inning, I'm just like, there's just no possible way that they're going to be able to turn a double play or make the right play on, in the infield to get Cedric Mullins out. Just Chandler Simpson and Taylor Walls. It's like Tampa Bay. They go back to the Trop and they get their superpowers back again. It's ridiculous. It's like, we should have just kept them at Steinbrenner Field. Like it's honestly nuts, because literally they go back, they all lay down perfect bunts. It's like I think they take a week out of spring training just to bunt. Like no BP, everybody has to bunt, and they just hit, all the guys hit so timely. And like one of the guys I want to just talk about is Chandler Simpson. Chandler Simpson went 5 for 10. 3 RBIs and 2 stolen base. He puts the ball in play, and whenever he puts the ball in play and he gets out, it's productive outs. Like he had a sac fly RBI, and he's so fast, like it's impossible to get him out on an infield if the ball isn't hit hard enough to the second baseman or the shortstop. The one thing I will say is I hope that the equipment manager for the Rays gets him a chin strap so the helmet doesn't always fall off when he's running to first. Because I feel like every time he's running to the bases, Chandler Simpson's the helmet is always flying off, and then you'll just get the camera pan. His Adidas, cap, under cap garment there, and it's Adidas is getting free promo right there.
Yeah, Chandler Simpson's been incredible this season, and he's the exact type of player that strikes fear in any type of opposing team. When the guy's hitting 411 right now, leading all of baseball in batting average with a 923 OPS. Like he's showing some power. He had the triple against the Yankees this series. He has 2 triples on the season, 4 ribbies. The triple was today.
It hit off the wall.
3 walks and only 3 strikeouts. He's been incredible for the Rays this season, and he doesn't have to hit 400. Obviously, he's not going to hit 400 all season, but if he's hovering around 300, he's a legitimate asset, because if he gets on base, he's on essentially third base. He can steal second or third so easily.
That is last night he was picked off by Yarborough, but I mean that was last night. But it'll happen. But it's just my whole point is I'm just so frustrated watching this team. And it's just I can't they ruined my night. They ruined my day, and I'm getting to the point that I'm just going to have to completely detach from this team. Because I'm so annoyed. Why did I decide to root for the New York teams this year? Why did I put all my investment onto these teams? They just hurt my mental health and my body health. It's crazy. The Yankees and Mets single-handedly forced me to run a half marathon this morning. How mad they got me last night.
So, congratulations on that as well.
Yeah, appreciate
great
it.
accomplishment.
No, appreciate it. Yeah, but let's not lose sight. And then the bullpen. I kind of feel, and somebody I can't remember who made the comment on Twitter, but I kind of feel like the Yankees are snake bitten from the high price reliever market and being bit in the past by those big time relievers like Devin Williams, Zach Britton, that now they're going bargain binning. And yes, sometimes it works. Sometimes you get a Fernando Cruz who's solid, reliable, middle inning relief type of guy. But you look at the high leverage guy, I have no faith in any high leverage guys. And I mean, we have to have the conversations with David Bednar. For as much as he was touted as this all-star closer and how good he was and everything, you put him in the game, and essentially he's always putting 1 or 2 guys on base. The velo's been dropped a little bit. He's not shut down, and we haven't had a clean inning from him this season.
Yeah, there's no one that gives me confidence in the bullpen right now, and Bednar's getting taxed. They're using him all the time. Boone loves using Brett Hendrick, who pitched Friday and Sunday in this series. He's okay, but yeah, Jake Bird, I feel like he's always warming up. And you said Duvall, yeah, he's super erratic. There's no one really to get excited about in that bullpen right now, which, if you want to be a World Series team, that's a major concern. And I think, though, the biggest story with the Yankees right now, of course, so far this season, is that no one is hitting. They're 28th in average, 24th in OPS, 15th in home runs. And the thing with the Yankees is they're a home run or bust team for the most part. They're 7th right now in strikeouts across the league. Yes, they led the league in all major stat categories last year, but this is a different year. And I look at some of the guys that had good seasons last year, like a Trent Grisham hitting over 30 home runs. Right now he's hitting 133, 0 home runs, and a 528 OPS. If Trent Grisham isn't hitting, he's adding nothing to this team, because he's not a good defender in center field. And that is one of the most important positions in the league, or that is one of the most important positions on the field. And when you think about it, this guy was a good defender in San Diego, comes over to New York, and he falls off defensively. If the bat isn't there, that's a major concern.
At this point, why can't we get Jason Dominguez up? I'm sorry, looking at this team, why is Randall Grichuk? Why do we have Randall Grichuk? Why do we have Jason Dominguez still hitting in AAA? The AAA team, the Yankees, is it Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, whatever it is, the Rough Riders. I don't know what they're called, the Wilkes-Barre Yankees. They're like the AAA Dodgers with Spencer Jones, Laranje, Elmer Rodriguez. At this point, what does Jason Dominguez have to do? I'd rather have, if the Yankees are really about winning a World Series and really about, helping Judge's legacy out, which I kind of feel like Hal just wants to make it more difficult for Aaron Judge to make him look better. I feel like it's at this point, why don't you just get Jason Dominguez up? He can't be possibly worse than Randall Grichuk and possibly worse bat than Trent Grisham right now. I mean, look how they used him. Get him in the same role as last year. I understand that you want him to play every day. You want him to get those reps. But at this point, we are dying in the major league level. We are losing to the Tampa Bay Rays. We cannot hit. right now. The team cannot hit. The bats are cold. The only guy that can hit right now is Ben Rice. Aaron Judge can't see pitches, and that's a big storyline. I feel like people were already talking about, oh, the bat speed's declining and the age. It's the bat speed. No, he's just not seeing pitches. He's missing a 93-mile-an-hour fastball up on top of the zone, and it's not because he doesn't, he can't get to it. Like he's swung at it. He's just late. He's not seeing the ball well. He's not seeing the ball well at all. That's the problem with Judge, and we hope that he'll solve it. And maybe today's home run at the end of the game in the ninth could be like the spark that kind of like, okay, gets them a little bit going. It's tough. And go ahead.
I was going to say I agree on Judge. I think he'll turn it around, and like this team kind of goes as he goes. That's been the story certainly last year and years prior. If he's having an MVP caliber season, he's going to carry this team to the playoffs. But if he struggles or gets injured, knock on wood, like this is a bang average 500 team in my opinion. We talked about McMahon on Friday, but he is one of the worst qualified hitters in all of baseball right now. He's hitting 114 with a 376 OPS. Like, I don't know what you do. There's just so many guys on this team that are not hitting right now.
Get Waldo up. Like, what is the point at this point? I'm just like, there's some guys I don't understand why. Even Caballero can play the outfield. Like, why does Randall Grichuk have to get at bats? It stinks for him because Randall Grichuk is getting put into and you can look up the number right now. He's getting put in a no-win scenario. I understand you're a professional, but I think like the last time he hit was like 2 weeks ago, like 14 days ago. So it's just like you're taking him off the bench, ice cold, without any game time, like on the dish to go hit. I understand there's technology that you can learn how, like you can go hit and stay warm, but I kind of feel like you got to give the guy some ABs to at least, get it going.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a bench player.
But it's just like he's a bench player, but he's hitting sixth in the lineup.
I know. No one's hitting.
Stop blaming him. Nobody's hitting this. William, I'm sorry. This team is just poorly constructed. Look at the bench. You have J.C. Escara, Ahmed Rosario, Randall Grichuk, Paul Goldschmidt. Like, what are we supposed to do? There's nobody in the lineup you can call like, yeah, Goldschmidt, but he can only play first. And then who's the backup shortstop? They literally ran Ryan McMahon at shortstop the other day.
Yeah.
Like it's his first MLB start at shortstop.
You need Volpe back desperately. And that's crazy to say. You need Volpe back desperately.
But it's not even a Volpe thing. It's organizational malpractice. Like you know that Volpe wasn't going to be here till mid-April.
Yeah.
And you know that you had these injuries and you couldn't like craft around this.
Can we talk heel quickly and then the Jazz thing and move on because we got to get going? There's a lot to get to for the rest of the league.
What do you want to talk about heel?
Well, the story with heel from all of last year, spring training, and now his first start is he has no control anymore. And his fastball used to be a put-out pitch, and it's just not. He can't locate it. And what's the point of having Luis Heel up here in the major leagues, walking a bunch of guys, having no control, when you have what the media is building up to be a prodigy in Laranje in the minor leagues? Every time I get a notification on my phone about him, it's 102, 10 strikeouts through 4 innings, whatever it may be. Like, at what point do you give him a chance and give up on Heel? Because Heel has done nothing over the last 12 months to show us that he's able to locate. And that's the most important thing you can do as a pitcher is locate your pitches.
At this point, Heel might just be a relief guy at this point. My whole thing is just like, it's New York media, and New York media is going to always overblow these guys. So let's pump the brakes with Laranje. Let's pump it. Like, let's not get too carried away. Remember what happened to Jabba Chamberlain. We don't want to remember that night that happened in Lake Erie.
Yeah, but he was good, though. He had
then after that, what happened?
But Heel had the one season. I guess he was good when he was a rookie way back in like 2021 or whatever, like his first stint in the big leagues, and then he dealt with injuries. But it's just not there anymore with him.
It's just like there's so much depth that I'm not really concerned about the starting rotation. I'll be very concerned as Carlos Rodon and Garrett Cole come back and they're giving up 5 earned.
100%.
Multiple starts. And then that's when I have alarm bells. But right now, I'm cool. Like Schlittler, what is he supposed to do today? Oh, like everybody on Red Sox Twitter, oh, look at him, the Mickey Mouse run he had. And I'm like, what is he supposed to do when Chandler Simpson and Cedric Mullins? Like, I feel like everybody on the Tampa Bay Rays, like, they run a 4.4 40-yard dash. Like, sub 4.4 40-yard dash. Like, the whole team is like 90 speed, barring, like, their first and third baseman and the catcher. Like, that team is just, if they get a double, it's a triple damn near. It's impossible with that team.
Yeah.
And so, look, I mean, with the Yankees, look, I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. I'm getting to the point where I need to detach because I just cannot stand like watching this anymore.
It's the same thing every year. Nothing's changed. And they're around 500 right now. Got a tough week ahead. Let's talk about the Jazz thing real quick. He makes the error, not an error, but boneheaded play in the bottom of the 12th yesterday. I'll play this from the start here. Bottom of the 10th. Should have tagged Diaz there. And instead throws it to first. And I'll put up the interview that he had.
Just get it off my screen before I lose it.
Bobble that. Do you feel like you have a shot at a double play there?
Yeah, I was really gonna go tag the runner and just throw it to first. I don't know what the rule is if I went to first base first and threw it back to second if it's still an out. Is it still a double play? I don't know. Does it count as not an RBI?
No, they'll score.
They'll still score?
They'll get there before the tag third second.
Well, where it was what I was trying to do in my mind probably wouldn't have worked anyway.
So I think this was a little bit overblown. The play itself, the interview was bad. I think Jazz had the right play in mind. He was trying to tag the runner going to second and then get the out at first, and it would have been a double play and they were out of the inning. That was the best possible case scenario. I think once he missed the tag, the game was over anyway. Like there was nothing he could have done. And he just, I don't know, he threw it to first out of desperation, last chance type of thing. But you can't say that in an interview that you don't know the rule. And then Grisham's behind you and he clarifies what the rule was. Like that just can't happen. That's a terrible look.
Especially in New York, where everything is going to get clicked up and mic'd up. Look, man, as a Jazz Chisholm stan, it's getting hard to defend him, and the Jazz Chisholm fan club is tough because the boneheaded plays, the dumb ABSs, it's getting to the point where it's just like, is he just like a poor baseball IQ guy? And at this point, it's just like I don't think the Yankees need that. Look,
Yeah,
I mean, it is just like I said, Brendan. There was a reason why they were looking at Brendan Donovan this offseason, and they were looking at Ketel Marte and all these second basemen and whatnot. But stuck around with Jazz. Now next year we'll be talking next offseason. Yankees and Jazz Chisholm, is he going to get the contract? Probably. He was probably thinking about that 50. It was like a tweet said. He was probably thinking about that 50-50 season this year.
Yeah, I'm a big Jazz fan, but everything from him so far this season, interviews, play, it's been negative. But it's still early. He has plenty of time to kind of rewrite the script.
I'm sorry. It's still early, but he's not helping himself. With the offseason antics that happened this offseason, and him getting married and the whole Twitter debacle, these at-bats, the dumb ABS. I swear, Jazz is due for like every series one dumbass ABS call. Like
the Yankees have some of the dumbest ABS challenges I've seen in my life.
Because Boone gives them all authority. Because Boone gives them the authority. Because Boone is like, oh, just he gives power to the players, and sometimes there's too much power. Boone needs to run it needs to run a more tighter ship.
Right now, the Yankees, through their first 23 challenges, they've gotten 10 right, 13 wrong. They're 43%. In terms of win percentage on challenges. That is the fourth worst across Major League Baseball. And I was listening to the radio broadcast today. I think Susan Waldman said they've missed like 13 out of their last 14 challenges or something like that. It's been terrible. And it's been to the point where like the full ball will be in the zone.
In zone. The Ben Rice one today, I was like, Ben Rice, like, please don't do it. Ben Rice, Dartmouth graduate Ben Rice. Literally, the ball went straight down the zone, in the zone. And he's like, I'm challenging that. And then he decides to throw the helmet in the dugout. I'm like, buddy. But look, man, going on the subject, if you're a baseball team and you're just having a bad week, just go play the New York Yankees or play the New York Mets, because just play a New York team because your problems will be fixed. Case in point, the Marlins couldn't get catches and everything, couldn't get the catching right and everything. And the ABS, they got it right on the Sunday game. The A's came to town, couldn't hit. They got that right. Rays bullpen, one of the worst in the major leagues. Doesn't matter. They still got that one right off the Yankees. Same thing with the Mets. The New York Mets. And your bats are cold, just play the Mets bullpen. It's crazy how the Mets, I'm still on the Mets, and I think I'm not sounding the alarm bells louder with the Mets than the Yankees, because look, Mets had a tough week. They had that Diamondbacks series, and then they had the tough series on Friday where this weekend with the A's, which, talk about the A's, man. Let's give a round of applause for the A's this weekend.
Yeah. Good whole week.
A's, whole week. They went 5-1 this week. They're in first place at the West right now. 2 weeks ago we were like, man, they're like, they might be dying after that series, and they had that series against the Jays, and then they had that series in against the Astros. But hey, you got a great week in New York. Hey, if you're if you're a team that's slumping, just go to New York and you'll be fixed. Maybe that just works with people. It may just have to go to New York, everything fixes. But regardless of that, Friday the A's won 4-0, Saturday 11-6, and today 1-0. I mean, look. In all these games, yesterday you had Kodai Senga again, who's crazy, not pitching well. He went 2 1/3, 7 earned, 8 hits, 2 walks. That happened. Today, Freddie Peralta, inefficient, went 6, allowed 1 earned, 3 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, went 6 strikeouts, losing 5 in a row. And to kind of feel with the Mets, their issues, it's the bullpen. And I know they designated for assignment, DFA'd. I think his name is Richard Lovedale.
Lovelady, yeah.
Lovelady got DFA'd, and then Robert Garcia got DFA'd again. And again, in all these games, the Mets have been having a chance to win the game. In the games against the Diamondbacks, they had that game on Thursday that it was only like a 1-2, 1-0 game. It's a very tight game. And McLean had a good start. Erod had a good start. The bats just weren't hot. And again, it's butt cold right now in New York, as we say. It's really cold, and we're waiting for the weather to heat up. And this weekend, they had the A's series where today they couldn't get any run support. Yesterday, it was just a bad day from Senga. And I think, let me just ask you this. If you score 6 runs, you think you should win a baseball game in the majors?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to win many baseball games giving up 11 runs. So, not even 7. Even if you give up 7, like, kiss of death. And then Friday, they got 3. They got 3 insurance runs in the knife off Tobias Myers. So again, it's the bullpen's the issue. And is the bullpen fixable? 100%, because that's just how it is.
Luke Weaver gave up a big home run to Tyler Soderstrom on Saturday, who he had a huge game, 3 for 5, 2 homers, 5 ribbies, and 2 runs scored. Lindor has been a huge topic of conversation among Mets fans. Like, he just looks like he's not fully locked in. On Friday, he got caught flat-footed making a turn at second base on a potential inning-ending double play in the 3rd inning. In the 6th, he got picked off at third base. And then he was caught off third base on a ground ball to first baseman Nick Kurtz. And then on Saturday, there was that double play miscommunication between him and Simeon. Could have been a double play. Instead, he was kind of going behind Simeon, didn't get the ball. He's been struggling in the field. He also had 2 unforced mistakes last week against St. Louis when he lost track of the outs and was picked off at first messing with his batting gloves. Lindor said, quote, "Not sure." When asked if he could attribute the gaffes to anything, he said, "I feel like I'm locked in. I feel like I'm in the game. It just happens. Got to be better." So that's been a weird dynamic so far from this Mets season. Getting swept by the A's at home is not a good look. The starting pitching, I think, for me, is the biggest concern with this team this year so far. Freddie Peralta is good. I don't think he's the elite tier of ace in Major League Baseball. David Peterson's had some bad starts. Nolan McLean's been kind of the star of that rotation so far this season, as we expected. Kodai Senga's been terrible. Clay Holmes has been okay. I just don't know. When your 8-9 is Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, I also just don't have a ton of confidence coming from a Yankee fan.
That's a personal
That's
bias
bias.
thing.
That's bias. For sure.
You know
Obviously,
what
Soto's got the calf too, so that's a huge loss for a couple weeks.
That's what I was going to say. I think the Lindor thing, I know why he's not locked in, is because Captain Soto's not around. King Captain Soto's not around to monitor the clubhouse. He's not there to monitor the clubhouse. That's what I'm saying. So,
They got time. Yeah, they got time. I mean, they're in last 7-9, but they're only 2.5 games back. It's still very early. Thing is, they got a tough week. They're traveling to LA to play the Dodgers. They're traveling to Chicago to play the Cubs, who haven't been great this season. We'll talk about them a little bit later. I'm not sounding the panic bells on the Mets yet, but they got to kind of figure this out a little bit. Show they're locked in a little bit more. Maybe getting out of New York is going to be good for them.
maybe not signing Yankees pitchers on free agency is a good start. Maybe they should try that next offseason instead of trying to get all the Yankees hand-me-downs. Like, stop being little bro. Maybe go do your own thing, little bro. Go get your own pitchers. Maybe go pick on your cousin in Milwaukee. type
Which they did. I mean, they did make that trade.
And how's that working? It's working good.
Yeah, working decent.
Yeah, working decent. And that's the thing. I just think the bullpen's been the issue, and I think that's just fixable. Think about it.
Yeah, the bullpen is the most addressable thing at the deadline most years because there's more relievers than any other position group. They only pitch one inning. Usually there's a couple or decent relievers on bad teams that teams are willing to trade. They can fix that part of the team.
It's more fixable than what the Yankees got.
Yeah, maybe. I will say the Mets kind of did give themselves the kiss of death this week by calling up Craig Kimbrell. I'm sorry, no offense to Craig Kimbrell, but if you're calling up Kimbrell to be a legitimate part of your bullpen in the big year of 2026, I don't know if I can take you seriously as a World Series contender. I'm sorry, this guy over the past, think of all the teams. Think of all the teams he's cursed with his presence over the last few years. Last year it was Philly, Baltimore. None of his teams win.
It's only a matter of time where we get Christian Scott, Jonah Tong, and all those young arms the Mets got in AAA right now in the minors. So it just that's what I kind of think that what we're waiting for in New York with the Mets. We're waiting for they're waiting for the Jonah Tongs of the world to come back up and take a starting role, and then you shift a guy like, I don't know, maybe Clay Holmes, Senga into the pen. Or what's going to end up happening? You know what's going to happen? I'm predicting the future. You can clip this up. Not wishing any ill will on anybody, but we'll have some type of injury happen with the Dodgers rotation or the Dodgers bullpen. Something will happen. Okay, they'll move Sheehan into the pen. Snell will still be hurt, and Mets will have had enough of Kodai Senga. Kodai Senga gets DFA'd, and here comes Kodai Senga into the Dodgers rotation.
And he's good.
Move Roki into the bullpen, and then they get Kodai Senga. Then they have the Japanese All-Stars team.
If that happens, we just had a Dom Smith home run. We're watching Sunday Night Baseball right now. 5-0 Braves over the Guards. Hey, I don't know. Nothing's impossible with the Dodgers. All right, let's keep it going.
All right, let's go. But before we move on, who are you more concerned? The Mets or the Yankees? No bias. Yankees. Yeah, Yankees.
No one's
all right, let's talk. William, I'm gonna lob it up to you. I didn't watch much of this series. I was quite busy this weekend. Pittsburgh and the Cubs, man. Tell me about what's going on in Pittsburgh, in Chicago. Like, for this team that has been invested, you brought everybody back. You have the good vibes. What do you and Kayla think? I know Kayla is probably sounding your opinions watching the games when she has time. What's the deal with the Cubs?
Well, I think the main concern right now with the Cubs is the health. They have so many guys on the injured list right now, especially in that starting rotation. Matthew Boyd, the bicep injury. Cade Horton now out for the season. That's a massive loss. Justin Steele, he's still coming back from Tommy John surgery. We don't know when we'll see him really yet. And I've always said it, like, the first year back from TJ usually isn't as good as the second year back from TJ. So don't really know what to expect from Steele this year. They lost Hunter Hodge. today to triceps inflammation, which is not a good sign. Other guys you have on the injured list, Porter Hodge, Phil Maton, Shelby Miller, Jordan Wicks, those guys are all out right now. So it was already, in my opinion, a thin rotation, a rotation that didn't necessarily have that bona fide ace. And Edward Cabrera could pitch to that. We'll see. It's still early. Had a decent start on Saturday. I'm very concerned about the Cubs rotation right now. And then this weekend, I know they won on Sunday. That was a huge win. Coming back from behind, Michael Busch coming off the bench, snapping an 0 for 30 spell with the RBI single in the 8th, and then the throwing error from Brian Reynolds that tied the game at 6. That was huge for the Cubs to come back and win today on Sunday. But on Friday, they were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. On Saturday, they were 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. And you look at the team, their numbers, they're 22nd in average, 23rd in OPS, 15th in home runs right now. And when you look at some of the numbers from the individual players, Nico Horner's been their best hitter so far this season, hitting .316 with a .911 OPS. Carson Kelly's been solid for them. But guys like Alex Bregman, I kind of called it, but he's hitting .213 right now with 2 home runs. I thought he would struggle a little bit moving over to Wrigley. He has a .618 OPS. He has not been good. PCA, like if PCA is playing to a star caliber level, this team can go to the World Series. They can win the National League. But right now he's hitting .203 with a .513 OPS with 1 home run. Like, it's still early. He only has played 15 games, but he's looking smart for signing that contract, securing the bag. Say Suzuki just came back, so that could be a huge addition. But Ian Happ, yes, he has 4 home runs, but he's hitting 192. Like Dansby Swanson, another guy they gave a ton of money. He's hitting 163. It just kind of feels like the trend across baseball right now. Like no one's hitting, but the Cubs, they have a ton of injuries in that staff, and no one's hitting really outside of Nico Horner. They're 7-8. They're dead last in the Central right now. Still very early, but I thought Pittsburgh looked like the better team this weekend, and the Cubs didn't even get to face Paul Skeens.
And that's a thing to say. I mean, again, we can attribute it for it being the cold weather, but it kind of seems like a reoccurring theme with our teams here. Just the lack of pitching. And I feel like, pitching's one of those things. I mean, I'm going to give an analogy. It's like you can never have enough linemen, and more so, the more adage is you can never have enough weapons or more so defensive backs. It's something that with pitching you can never, you always need some. And I kind of feel like with the bigger teams this year in the World Series hunt, like the pitching's just bad. And when you look at the Cubs, it's tough because when you look at how a hypothetical playoff scenario would look like if they get there, we don't even have a 1 through 3 solidified. And if you're not hitting, if your stars aren't hitting PCA, we have the issues of PCA, Bregman. I mean, Nico's been the only guy hitting. It's tough. And we know Dansby's there as a spine defender that, we'll give the Cubs that. Great defensive team, great spine. But we're going to have to get some runs in. And so it's going to be very interesting how they move along the next couple of weeks, see if they can get hot. Because if they don't get hot, I mean, the Cardinals are being very pesky. We'll talk about them later. The Pirates are winning ball games, and the Reds are going to red. So it's going to be – and the Brewers, are going to be there. So it's going to be tough. We talk about in the East a lot how the East is not playing up to expectations right now. But the Central's exceeding expectations. The NL Central's exceeding. And that's not a good thing for the Cubs.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Reds looked like the Pirates look like a really good team this weekend in Wrigley. Conor Griffin even hasn't gotten going yet. Like I think they have the pitching to stay. It's a 1 through 5. Like they have a deep rotation. And I don't know. The Cubs are just, I'm not getting good vibes right now from the Cubs. They got to start hitting. They have a tough week. It's Philly and New York Mets, in the road on Philly, which maybe Philly's not super tough, but
I don't think Philly's super tough. So perfect segue.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks won 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia this weekend. Friday they won 5-4. Saturday they won 4-3, and then Sunday they won. Diamondbacks won 4-3. Again, Andrew Painter was through in relief today. Came in the 3rd inning, throwing for 5 innings strong, 7 strikeouts. He was supposed to start, but he had a migraine. But Jose Alvarado blew it. Look, I think the biggest issue with Philadelphia is that their lineup is somewhat, and I hate saying this, but it's very home run or bust as well. It's like there's no consistent bats in there, and they're an older team. And if they don't get going, it's going to be tough because the East is tough. Again, I'm going to continue to buy Arizona stock. Arizona looks really good. They're scoring runs. Had a great week out on the East Coast in New York and then in Philadelphia. Again, like they're another team that if they can get their relief back end sorted a little bit better, maybe move Seawald into a setup role, I think they're going to be a really good team to face out in the West.
Yeah, I feel good about the D-backs. They had a good week. The good news for Philly is Harper's having a good season so far. 273 with a 902 OPS and 3 homers. He's been producing, but I do agree, like it's kind of a home run or bust lineup. Like Adolis Garcia hasn't been good. Stott struggling. Marsh struggling. Realmuto was injured for a little bit. Not playing well. Justin Crawford's been okay. And then, they're waiting to see when Wheeler comes back. We don't know what we're going to get from him this year.
Schwarber's not hitting the bombs like last year, like the crazy bombs. It's tough.
Yeah, there's 7 and 8. Fangraph still gives them a 67% chance of making the playoffs this year. 27% chance of winning the division. I don't know. Cubs, Phillies, kind of giving me similar vibes.
I would buy more Mets stock out of those 3. If I were to do all 3, Mets, Cubs, Phillies.
I feel better about the Phillies right now than I do the Cubs, and I feel better about the Mets than both of them. We'll talk about the Braves a little bit. That series is still going on, but I feel really good about the Braves. They're playing good baseball. And
you just want to talk about them now? I mean, this weekend, they're playing the Guardians. I mean, the Guardians, I watched the start. I mean, the Braves won 11-5 on Friday, and then the Guards won 6-0. I mean, both teams are playing really good baseball. I mean, I think the story with the Guards is how good that pitching staff has been. The pitching staff metrics rank top tier. Starting rotation, I mean, you've seen guys like Parker Messick, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams be very, very good for them. But we say that, and the Braves are having great seasons from Mauricio Dubon, Dom Smith, Matt Olson's getting it going, Ozzie Albies. And again, if you look at the statistics with their pitching staff, it's number 1. They were talking about it tonight on NBC because it's Sunday Night Baseball. Again, their pitching stats are really, really good this year. And I'm pulling them up right now.
6th in starting pitching ERA, 1st in bullpen ERA and WHIP. Bullpen's been really good. They're playing good defensively. The metrics grade out really well. And yeah, there's a lot of concerns with their rotation heading into the year with all the injuries they had. And they didn't do anything to address it this winter. They didn't sign anybody for the rotation, but Sale, Reynaldo Lopez, Bryce Elder, Grant Holmes, it's been a good rotation, which is kind of surprising, but it's been working out for them so far. Robert Suarez and Rafael Iglesias is a very strong 8-9 to close out the game. So yeah, I think Braves fans should be excited. I think they are benefiting from a little bit of warm weather down there in Atlanta versus having to play up there in New York where it's freezing. That's kind of helping the bats. Like I think we'll see some teams like the Phillies and the Mets. The bats will eventually get going as things warm up. But the Braves last year got off to that nightmare start, whatever it was, 1-9. They were just never able to recover. But they're off to a much better start this year, and it's going to bode well for their chances in the postseason. Like getting into that, winning the division, trying to win the 2nd overall seed behind the Dodgers.
I mean, right now Atlanta ranks tied for first place in ERA. They're additionally with that, they also I just read a stat right here. They ranked 4th in quality starts, which is they're one behind Kansas City, Seattle, and LA. I mean, look, man, I think the Braves are here to stay. I mean, our concern was like, what was that pitching staff going to do? But shout out and credit to Walt Weiss for getting them to pitch really well. I mean, they're winning right now 5-0. Be a good series one against the Guards. Remains to be seen how they move when they play the bigger teams. Because as of now, they've had a pretty cakey schedule in the sense that they've played the A's, and we know the A's don't have any pitching. They played the Kansas City Royals, and we know the Royals are kind of just their central block team. And then they played Arizona, which Arizona's okay, but I want to see them play bigger teams.
Yeah.
And I buy into Arizona, but I want to see them play the big boys. I want to see them, the Phillies, the Mets, the Dodgers, and the Cubs.
J-Ram homered on Saturday which meant he has a home run against every single team in Major League Baseball except his own team, the Cleveland Guardians. So that's interesting stat from that series. Where do you want to go next, Luis?
Do you want to run a couple series that we really didn't have that many takeaways? Do you have any takeaways on Miami, Detroit? I was watching the game, but really, I mean, Detroit bailed the ass. They won Friday 6-1 yesterday, and today 8-2. Kevin McGonigal today had a 3-for-4 game, 1 homer, which is his first career and 1 RBI today in Detroit.
Yeah, not much from that series. Sunday was supposed to be a good pitching matchup, but Sandy got shelled. 10 hits, 7 earned. And Scuba was good, 6 2/3, 2 walks, 7 Ks. A really good get-right series for the Tigers. They needed that one. I still think this team is very good. I think that the class of the Central, it's still early. So good to see them kind of get things right.
The bats are getting going, and I think that's the big thing with Detroit that they need to get going. San Francisco, Baltimore, Orioles won 2 out of 3 against the Giants. Giants won Friday night 6-3. Orioles won 6-2. In the Saturday game, Giants had 10 hits, but went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. And then Sunday, the Orioles won 6-2. For as much, dirt am I laying in Baltimore, they're in first place right now in the East.
So are they in first? Or are they tied with the Yankees and Rays for first or something like that?
They're in some tiebreaker BS in the first place, but yeah.
Very early. They did have some injuries this weekend. Adley Rushman to the injured list with left ankle inflammation, and then Ryan Mountcastle to the IL with a broken 4th metatarsal bone in his left foot, and then Tyler O'Neill also going to the IL with a concussion. So they're banged up, but Taylor Ward has kind of been the class of their lineup so far this season. He's hitting .356 with a .968 OPS. No home runs yet, which is kind of his calling card, but 14 strikeouts to 10 walks and 10 doubles right now. So he's been hitting it for them so far. Not giving up on that team at all. Never gave up on them. They are, I think, going to be in that AL East race this year alongside the Yankees, Red Sox, and Jays. Like, I think everyone's going to be there. It's a loaded division. Good series win for them.
Good segue. Let's go to Toronto. Toronto, Minnesota. Minnesota got 2 of 3. Shout out to the Minnesotans winning 2 out of 3 against the Jays. I mean, I think the biggest storyline of this series is that the Jays lost George Springer. He fouled the ball off of his foot and he fractured his big toe. Remains to be seen what's going to happen, but expected IL stint. It's again, the Blue Jays can't catch a break this season, and it just goes to talk about. I know we talked about it at the end of the World Series pod that sports in general in life is so hard to predict that once you get to the end and you're right there and you're literally an out away, a run away, you're right there. You can taste it. You have one hand on the trophy. And you don't get it done, and you have to go back up. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get back up the mountain and get back there. And that's what it's looking like with the Jays. Like, I'm not saying they won't again, but I'm just saying that with all these injuries, it's hard. With the Springer injury, the pitching injuries, it's getting really hard. Okamoto is not playing well. So I mean, it's very tough for the Jays right now. It seems like all their luck is now run out at this point since that game.
It's very early, but I do agree. Like, I think it's only 15 games, but like, are the Jays having the season from hell at this point? I mean, look at their injured list. Alejandro Kirk out for however long with a broken thumb. Addison Barger, sprained ankle. Anthony Santander, he's not going to be back for a long, long time with the shoulder surgery. George Springer fouls the ball off his foot. Now he's got a fractured toe. Then you look at the rotation. Jose Barrios, stress fracture in his elbow. Shane Bieber, elbow inflammation. Cody Ponce had that fluke knee injury in his first start with the Jays. Trey Savage, shoulder impingement. And then you also have Bowden Francis with Tommy John surgery. Like, it's insane how many injuries this team has so far. And they're not short-term injuries. Like, these are decently long-term injuries where there's only so much left. Like, you can only have so much depth on a major league team in an organization. I don't know. It could be just, they had last year was their chance, and this year might just be like everything goes wrong for them because everything went right for them last year.
You know what's funny that you say that?
What?
Because I think it's like every year an AL East team has that. It's like they take turns. Like the other year, it was the Yankees when they had their season from hell, and then it was the Orioles, and then last year it was Tampa had their season from hell, and now it's the Juju. It's kind of like the circle of life of the AL East.
That is true. Yeah, Yankees in 23, 2024. I mean, last year was definitely the Orioles.
And the Rays too.
The Rays. Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be crazy to me if the Jays just kind of are okay this year and maybe miss the playoffs or sneak in as like a late wild card. I mean, it's a rough start. They've lost series to the Rockies, swept by the White Sox, and they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins. Those are games you should be stacking wins, and they're not.
But the Yankees are in the same way that they're supposed to be stacking wins against Sacramento and Tampa.
Yeah.
So, any takeaways from the Milwaukee-Washington series? Nationals got a sweep.
Shout out to the Nats. That's a nice series sweep. James Wood 4 for 5 on Friday, and then homered again on Sunday. The Brewers' pen gave up 6 earned on Sunday, allowing 4 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. After winning 8 of their first 10 games, Brewers have lost 5 straight now. They have never dropped, or last year, they never dropped more than 5 in a row while winning a franchise record 97 games. This is their longest losing streak since June of 2023. And more bad news for the Brewers. Christian Yelich was pulled in the 5th inning of Sunday's game due to tightness in his left hamstring. Pat Murphy said, quote, "We're likely going to get some bad news on Yelich. They're already missing Jackson Chourio and Andrew Vaughn due to hand injuries." So a little bit of a concern for the Brewers. And the Nationals, surprising series win. So congratulations to the Nationals.
Congratulations. Angels, Reds. Angels got 2 out of 3. Angels went berserk Friday and today. They won 10-2 on Friday. Soler hit a nuke, and then today the Angels won 9-6. They were up. That game was over after the first inning. Andrew Abbott gave up 7 earned. But big story is Jose Soriano. Elite 7 innings pitch, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks. First pitcher since the at least 1900s that there were 25 innings in his first 4 appearances while allowing fewer than 10 hits and fewer than 2 runs.
He has a 0.33 ERA through, I think it's 4 starts this season. 4 starts. He's been elite, 98th percentile in ground ball percentage at 65.9. So he's a ground ball pitcher. 30% strikeout rate, the whiff rate. Like, look at his Savant page right now. It's crazy. And he averages 97.5 mile an hour on the fastball. Sinker curve, 4-seam split, slider. He's been great this season. So the Yankees are lucky that they don't have to face him this week in the Bronx. You know, the Angels have been hitting very well. Jorge Soler keeps hitting bombs. They're 3rd in home runs this season. It's not going to be an easy series for the Yankees.
Boston, St. Louis, Red Sox got right this weekend. I mean, guys like Trevor Story today in the 9-3 win went 4 for 5. Wilson Contreras had himself a weekend, going 2 for 4 in the win 7-1 yesterday and 4 for 5 today with a homer. Ranger got 6 innings last night, going 6 innings pitched, 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Jordan Walker hit a homer today. Again, Walker, it's looking like he's piecing it together. 8-game hitting streak. He's the 4th Cardinals player in franchise history to hit at least 7 home runs in the team's first 15 games, joining Mark McGwire, Scott Rowland, and Albert Pujols. That is a Brendan Schaefer from MLB.com. That is a crazy statistic. Looks like Jordan Walker is getting it going.
Yeah, that's an elite. That's an elite list to be on. Those are all Hall of Famers except McGwire, who PEDs, all that stuff would be in the Hall of Fame. He leads Major League Baseball, Walker does, with 7 home runs this season. Yeah. But it's another good series win for the Red Sox. They won the series against the Brewers. Now they win against the Cardinals. They're slowly turning things around here. We always said don't panic on the Red Sox. They'll be fine.
It's like they think we don't watch ball, but we do. But Houston, Seattle. Mariners won 9 out of 6 on Friday. Tatsuya Mai was terrible. Just couldn't get out of the inning at the start of the inning. Terrible. He had arm fatigue, but the Mariners just beat to A Friday night. The game was over after the first 2 innings.
Yeah, he's
Mariners went on.
And Mai's on the injured list now, I believe, or he will be placed on the injured list shortly. Arm fatigue, never good.
Yeah, no, not good. Saturday the Mariners won 8-7. and then the Mariners won today 6-1. So it is a clean sweep for the Mariners this weekend. Mariners are finally getting back together. Get right series. I mean, we talked about how their hitting didn't get going. Logan Gilbert went 7 today, 7 with 7 strikeouts and 1 walk, 1 earned. Randy had a 3-hit game, with Luke Raley also having a 3-hit game. J-Rod finally hit a home run before July. Cal Raleigh hit a homer as well, and they walked it off with J.P. Crawford. William, did you see the Ichiro bat break?
I did.
At the
I did. I'll play the video here on the side. They were unveiling the Ichiro statue, and the bat broke. That's embarrassing for the sculpture guy. But I thought the whoever made the sculpture, I thought the Mariners did a good job with updating their replica statue giveaway. Obviously, this is AI generated; it's not real. But funny tweet out there if you're watching on YouTube from the Mariners. Look, in terms of the baseball from the series, I think it's fair to sound the alarm bells on the Astros. I am pretty freaking concerned about this Astros team right now. They're dead last in starting pitching and relief pitching, ERA and WHIP. And if you look at their injured list right now: Hunter Brown, Christian Javier, Ronel Blanco, and now you factor in Tatsuya Imai, who has arm fatigue. Like, who is left in this rotation? I know the lineup's been good so far this season. Jordan's back hitting absolute tanks. But if you have no one to pitch, where's this team going? Like, Seattle outclassed them. They play again on Monday, a rare wraparound series. But they're 6-9. They're only 2 back in the division right now. Like, no one's separating themselves from that in that division. But Seattle kind of made a statement this weekend, in my opinion, that they're still the class of this division this season, that they can still pull away with this thing. Because this Astros team is making me nervous right now.
Yeah. Finally, Dodgers, Rangers. Dodgers win the first 2, 8-7 on Friday, 6-3 on Saturday, and today the Rangers won 5-2. Any takeaways, William?
Edwin Diaz, his velocity is dropping. He is averaging 95.8 miles an hour on the fastball through his first 6 appearances. That is down from 97.2 last year with the Mets. It was enough from Dave Roberts to stay away from Diaz on the second day of a potential back-to-back this weekend against Texas. Dave Roberts said, quote, "Everything I hear," he says, "that he feels fine," he being Diaz. I think for me, you hear it. You want to completely trust it, but then you're also looking at the radar gun and making sure. We're sort of trying to dig in a little bit. But I think that, 2 miles an hour, that's pretty significant. Through his first 6 outings, Diaz has allowed 4 runs, which is a 6.00 ERA. And then Diaz, he pointed to a trend that he's been seeing over the last few seasons where his velocity has dipped in April. He said it's taken him time to get his velocity going ever since he tore his patellar tendon in his right knee during the 2023 World Baseball Classic. So he's seen that velocity increase coming out of April. The last couple of seasons. Diaz said, quote, "As soon as the season starts going, I start feeling better and better and better. And my velo at the end of the year will be what I'm always throwing." It's early. It's an early trend, but I do think it is something worth monitoring, Edwin Diaz's velocity, because we saw what happened last year with Tanner Scott. Dodgers splashed the cash, gave him the money. He struggled mightily. And that didn't deter them from going out this winter and splashing the cash at Edwin Diaz, the prize reliever in the free agency pool this year, and the velocity is dipping. So it's a little bit of a concern for the Dodgers. If any team has the depth to cover it, it is them. But something I'm monitoring. And the Dodgers win the series, as they always do.
And Ohtani hit a couple homers this weekend that he was getting walked. So,
yeah,
up to 5 now. So,
let's wrap it up here with the. I don't have anything on Guardian or White Sox Royals, but Colorado, they did get swept by the Padres in a 4-game set. But most importantly, the Rockies are going to have some new ownership. Now, obviously, the Monforts still own the team, but Greg Penner and Kerry Walton Penner, who lead the Broncos ownership group, were added as minority owners of the Rockies last week. They will own roughly 40% of the team. The Rockies said the deal will eliminate their outstanding debt and allow them to provide additional investments in the team in both the short and long term. This is big news for the Rockies. They're early on in their rebuild, obviously, but last winter they completely overhauled the front office, brought in a whole new regime. Now they get in some fresh blood in that ownership group. Seems like, they've done a good job with the Broncos since they took over. That's the read I'm getting, at least from reading Reddit and things like that. Rockies fans seem to be excited. So I do think this is real reason for Rockies fans to have some excitement about this organization. Yes, they got swept this weekend in 4 against the division rival in the Padres, but they're 6-10 through their first 16. Like, that's not abysmal. They should win a lot more games than they did last season, and now they got some fresh blood in the ownership group. I think this is a step in the right direction. It's still going to be a long time before this team is contending, but they are doing all of the right things in terms of their leadership, which is all you can ask for as a fan. So I do think there are real reasons for optimism out there in Colorado right now.
And that is why the Rockies feel good. I don't know if you saw the game last week. They had the fans were shirtless in the top deck going crazy.
Yeah.
So,
they got the ultras.
Good vibes out there in Colorado.
It's always good vibes out there in Colorado, man. Anything else before we get out?
That's it, man. We'll be back Wednesday night or Thursday with the recap of the first half of the week. Just keep it locked. Follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Indeed. Trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube right now. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. And we'll be back later this week, recapping hopefully a Yankees series win and other things across Major League Baseball, but who knows? Until then, for my good friend over there, Luis Bronco, I'm William Locke. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.